Hey guys, King Jad here, and the other day a YouTuber called August the Duck, a YouTuber who's got 875,000 subscribers, has made a video which has already amassed 72,000 views, over 70,000 views even, and this guy made a video called The Greediest Streamer Alive. And so I thought there's a few things I need to go through on his video and try and elaborate on, because I think he needs to be better informed about FAO, just so he understands why this toxic piece of crap is begging as much as he is doing. So yeah, this is my attempt at trying to, fill in some gaps and try and help August the Duck learn more about DSP gaming if he really wants to. So here goes.
I'm incredibly grateful for the overwhelming support in the last 24 hours with these gifted memberships. Seriously, 100 memberships in 24 hours. Didn't I tell you this was going to happen? I knew it. And thank you guys for that. Thank you for living up to what I thought was going to happen. Seriously, pretty awesome.
All right, 100 memberships in 24 hours. I went and looked on this guy's channel, and the membership rates at the lowest are $4 a month. So that means that this guy was given $400 from random strangers in the span of one day, and that's the minimum. I'm sure some of them joined the higher tier membership, so this could have easily been $500, $600, $700, and he's about to complain about this.
I mean, kinda. But remember, YouTube takes 30% of that. So DSP Gaming did not actually get all that, only 70% of it. But aye.
Tips are very important to me in my business, and here's why. Tips are the liquidity of my business. And what I mean by that is that's the cash flow that I get that I can use to spend on things on a daily basis. If I need to buy a new game today, tips pay for it. If I need to buy something for the business, tips pay for it. Bills and stuff behind the scenes, generally tips pay for that.
Alright, so as somebody who does YouTube full-time, I understand what this guy is saying in a sense. Yes, when you're trying to balance bills, groceries, buying gas, paying rent, all of this stuff, and you're only paid one time a month, which is what YouTube does, I can understand it putting you in a sticky situation. But if you have not managed your money to be able to afford the things you need to live from what you've chosen to do as a job, you should not go to your audience saying that it's their responsibility to give you donations so you can survive. Especially not after they've just given you a bunch of people's weekly wage overnight for essentially nothing. I mean, you just don't do this.
Us long-time detractors, but that's how DSP Gaming knows us critics, know all too well how massive his greed is, and while tips make him the greediest of all due to the immediate payment it provides, he also enjoys pushing other revenue sources down his fans' throats too, such as the memberships, super chats, super thanks, super stickers, Patreon, wanting 100 likes on every live stream, which he then privates afterwards randomly so won't show for people after he's finished. You wanna know the funniest part? DSP Gaming was essentially a business degree. Yeah.
Coming up, my day off on Tuesday, grocery shopping, tips. If I have a meal with my wife, tips. You see, the tips are very important.
You know, this really makes me wonder what he's doing with his monthly check from YouTube. I looked at his views and I imagine this guy probably makes like $3 or $4 grand a month just from views alone. That's not including tips, donations, memberships, all that stuff. I mean, what are you doing with that money that you can't survive the rest of the month without daily tips? Are you just blowing it all the day you get it?
Oh boy, lot to unpack here, but essentially, yes, he does. Allow me to introduce you to the bank leaks. Full disclosure, DSP Gaming has not admitted this information is authentic, despite someone managing to access DSP Gaming's personal account information from Bank of America to retrieve historical debits and credits made between March 2020 and September 2021. While he's admitted someone had gained access to his account and causing it to get frozen, he's adamantly denied the information provided is genuine, despite it being overwhelmingly obvious that it is genuine. These denials are because it paints DSP Gaming's spending habits in a very negative and contradictory light. Now that's out of the way, his early YouTube payment data, while he's still with Twitch at the time, shows that while he's not getting 3 to 4 grand a month, but rather averaging about 1.7k a month, with some months being more successful than others and some less. His Twitch payments were all manual transfers, so the precise data on that is unknown, but his credits for that averaged out at just under 4.8k a month. What is he doing with all the daily money? It's WWE Champions time. That's right, August the Duck, our boy DSP Gaming has an unhealthy and private addiction to mobile gaming, specifically on WWE Champions. He used to be addicted to WWE Supercard back in the day, another mobile game, and when his account was discovered on WWE Champions, he seemingly contacted Scopely, the developers, to get a name change to mask his identity online. Unfortunately for him though, his account was a prolific one with several identifying features to it, which made finding him again not too difficult, so was rebranded to Down from the Rafters. This is a name which is actually too long for any normal user to sign up with due to the character length. It is estimated that Phil has spent over $30,000 just from the time frame of the bank leaks data alone from March 2020 to September 2021, and his actual spending on the game is thought to be in excess of $100,000. Sticking to the bank leaks, this averages out at just under 2.5k a month in playing a mobile game secretly. There's also the multiple DoorDash meals, the trips to Total Wine and so forth, but the mobile game spending is the most severe habit Phil is suffering from.
So I understand that people right now are so hyped for the gifted memberships, and I'm very grateful for that. I mean, thank you. But I hope that that doesn't mean that people are going to forego tipping, because that would put me in a bad situation. And in particular, and I don't know why you guys, okay, why are you laughing?
I can't tell if this is an act or not. I mean, I'm kind of thinking it is, because this guy should have a good amount of money unless he's just been blowing it this entire time he's been on YouTube. He's got about 500 million lifetime views, and that's about $2 million on average. Probably more because he's a streamer and does long videos. And then on top of that, because he's a streamer, he's probably made a very significant amount of money from donations and tips as well. And this is all over the span of like 10 years. The guy's probably been averaging like 250 grand a year. Where did all of that go?
Now, these are extremely high estimates, and we can correct it a little bit. However, those early YouTube days, you may be close to correct. DSP Gaming used to enjoy a lucrative views-based contract with Machinima, and this was around the time of his peak in popularity. He was able to pay off huge credit card debts, buy as many figurines as he desired, lease a BMW, and generally enjoyed being rich. He pumped out as many videos as he could, as fast as he could, exploiting both the YouTube algorithm as well as the Machinima contract he was on, and so his mindset was constantly on making videos for YouTube, whether it was gaming, reviewing, cooking, or just a general vlog. He milked the situation for all it was worth, and I've constantly said that Phil was actually smart to do this. I feel most people would have exploited that same sort of situation if given the chance to. But this money and way of living got to Phil's head, and he never understood how to live within his means. Phil's never specified how much he did earn, but from some of his contradictory comments on fractions of how much of those earnings were, not being too far under 200k was not a bad estimate. Now these days, Phil is still earning 6 figures a year. Between May 2021 and April 2022, it is thought DSP Gaming made over $133,000 overall across all platforms, with YouTube making up over $50,000 of that. He pushes tips so heavily because the reality of DSP Gaming's situation is that his main source of income is tips, making up for over $75,000 of his income between May 2021 and April 2022. Shout out to Piece of Peace, by the way. His tracker is bloody awesome, as well as containing the historical bank leaks data. He tracks DSP Gaming's metrics for current day use as well.
Laughing my ass off, laughing out loud. Why are you laughing? I'm just gonna stop the stream right now. What are you laughing at? Let's hear what's so hilarious. I'm being honest with you guys, and people want to say, oh, I'm laughing my ass off. What's so funny? I would like an answer. Because if you think that me being honest with you is funny, that's up. What's wrong with you?
Well, I think they're probably laughing because you're asking for money while demonstrating that you don't know how to manage it whatsoever. You've been doing this as a job for like the last decade of your life. You should know how the money situation works when you're working on this website. You shouldn't still be struggling with it.
You're absolutely right. He should not be struggling, but his poor financial decisions means he does. As well as a mobile game addiction, he ignored paying taxes due to misunderstanding how it worked when living in Washington. He used to live in Connecticut, so the rules are different in different states. So he owes a lot in back taxes, which does eat into his spending, which saw him having to give $7,000 payments in back taxes between March 2020 and September 2021, as well as $19,400 in federal taxes and just under $4,000 in state taxes. Somehow though, he still got $1,400 COVID stimulus check, so explain that one. He had a Chapter 7 bankruptcy approved a few years ago, which was meant to free him of that financial burden. Despite getting over $130,000 of credit card debt wiped, this is the man we see today still begging desperately for tips from strangers online. In the same time span, he spent over $33,000 on mortgage payments. That's right, he spent more on WWE Champions than he does on mortgage payments between March 2020 and September 2021. This is why DSP Gaming is one of the biggest lol cows to exist in the planet.
I'm telling you, if all I get this weekend are memberships, I literally can't afford stuff on Tuesday on my day off, and you're gonna laugh. Oh, that's funny. Oh, real funny. When you can't go and do something with your family on your day off, your one day off for the week when you're working full-time 6 days a week. That's funny, right? Oh, it's real funny. How about this? It's not funny, you're all right? I don't like talking about this. I don't.
You know what, that kind of seems like a lie because I've seen many clips of you talking about this. And then going back to what I said earlier, yeah, this has got to be an act, right? I mean, you can't expect anybody to want to give him money after he's treating people like this, right? Right?
You can call it battered wife syndrome or whatever, but some of his most loyal fans look up to DSP Gaming for one reason or another, and when he does things like this, they will support him. It's unknown why some of his fans enjoy this kind of treatment, but they look up to DSP Gaming and in their head, he is entitled to be like this.
And I don't want to talk about it all day, but I don't like people laughing. It's not funny at all. You're a piece of shit if you think that someone who has to live day to day on tips and is funny. Oh, so hilarious that this guy has stuff financially tight. Ha 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 ha. No, it's not funny. Now shut up.
I mean, I don't know you personally, dude, but it doesn't really seem like you're enjoying doing this anymore. If streaming on YouTube is a source of stress, and the way it works to do it as a job is not working for your financial situation, why don't you try something new? I mean, I'm not even trying to be smart, I'm just genuinely asking, because what I've seen from your stream so far, I mean, it really just doesn't seem like you like doing it anymore.
Well, the truth of the matter is, there's nothing else Phil can do. The guy's been out of work since 2010. What's he going to do outside of YouTube to earn money similar to that? Now, people have suggested to DSP Gaming that he gets a real job and do YouTube part-time, but he's dismissed this idea for generally vague reasons. He did promise his mother, in return for getting thousands of dollars off her to get, pay off like taxes, that if his situation didn't change within a decade, he'd get a real job. But this 10-year plan of sorts has been memory hole to DSP Gaming, and I can only assume that he was hoping either for a turnaround in his own fortunes or for her to die before those 10 years are up, so he can't remind her of that promise. A bit dark, I know. I don't really believe DSP Gaming would ever wish for something like that. Calm down, it was just very dark humour, and I said it for the banter.
Yeah. You guys want to support this stream, by all means, the gifted memberships are great, and please go ahead and do so. That will help me in the long term. Gifted memberships work exactly the same as any other membership or a super chat or a super sticker. It takes a month to a month and a half for me to see any benefit from it. So all this cool gifted memberships right now will help me next month. But that doesn't mean I don't have to pay anything now.
I mean, yeah, that's how it's always worked on YouTube. I mean, I just don't understand. Do you forget this every month? Do you get your check, go out and buy, I don't know, $4,000 worth of video games, and then get home and say, oh crap, I still gotta pay bills? I mean, pretty much every other person on the planet gets paid either every other week, every week, or once a month. You don't see them going up to random people saying, hey, I accidentally blew my entire paycheck. Can you give me part of yours?
While it does have some big bills, that mobile gaming addiction will ruin DSP Gaming at this rate. So yeah, you're kinda right saying he's blowing tons on games, just not the games his content actually relies on.
So please continue, especially if you were someone who regularly did tip, please continue to tip. That helps a ton. The tips are my life's blood day to day. I can't have tips completely drying up now in the next several weeks because we have gifted memberships. That would literally be disaster for me. I would not be able to pay anything. That would be really, really, really bad.
And guess what? That would really, really, really be your fault, not the fault of the people who are already giving you their hard-earned money. I mean, seriously, this is not rocket science. It's not hard to understand. Seems like you have dug the hole you are in.
Most detractors like me are convinced that DSP Gaming is, in his own way, his worst enemy. There's no need to try and hurt him, as he ends up hurting himself way more with his foolish decisions and antics. So yeah, August the Duck, I just thought I'd kind of do this little video just to kind of clarify some points that may have confused you. If you need to know anything more, feel free to hit me up or comment in the video down below. But yeah, I just kind of thought I'd leave some, backstory information, so if you wanted to learn more about why he's in this kind of situation, you now know about it. So yeah, thank you very much for the original video. I hope your fans learned something as well. If you're new to DSP gaming lore, or if other people are, then there's some people like me who've been around the scene watching this toxic piece of crap called DSP Gaming for many years now, so we've seen him do a lot of horrible things on the internet, and he'll try his best to make people forget it, but the King of Hate will live on despite him trying his best to rebrand to be something different. This has been King Jad, hope you enjoyed the video. Peace out.